All right, Shalom Yashrala. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Wahara Kodash Brakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Achion pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquat that they're listening. What I'd like to get into is this whole the whole atmosphere, man, of people like really like, through the spirit just really being affected by, people not being as friendly as they once were, people being very off to themselves, being loners, which you've always had people like that. But guess what? It's increased, right? Because because it's just a well-known fact. We're it's crazy. The word is slipping my mind, but you know, it's very common. It's a common trait, to be, interactive, to interact with one another. But once again, prophecy will always win. And see, that's what people don't understand. People will sit here and negate Yahweh Bashim Yahshua and negate what who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, our Lord and Savior, man. And he's speaking right here. This is chapter 20. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. Matter of fact, I'll start at you know what? I'll start at verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. See, a lot of our people have been deceived, man. Okay, I really should have started at 9. Matter of fact, let me start at 8. Salakia. You know what? Salakia. Let me start at verse 7. I'm bugging. Salakia. My last time. Okay, this is verse 7. Because just a quick side note, I like to get, straight to the point, but this is for edification's sake. It's not about me. It's for, the word to come out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. So that's just a side note. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And have we not seen that? Yes. Let's not forget 2020, man. Okay, let's not forget 2020. Let's not forget um inflation. Okay? Because guess what? That's causing famine. Okay? You got a lot of people who were accustomed to a lot of different lifestyles, and when 2020 came, it rocked a lot of things. Now that the Trump back in administration, hey, what they doing? They're being very strict, walking like so-called, walking a fine line between what's going to be strictly by the book, right? Because you had loopholes, and all those loopholes are being taken away, man. All those goodies and things, people, you still got your stuff that's legal, with other loopholes or whatever you're trying to do, right? Like taxes, for example, right? A lot of people, and it makes me think back, back in the day, people, give you, particular credits and so forth. Hey, that's not the case anymore, man. That is not the case. A lot of times you break even now, or you just gonna pay, or you're gonna end up on them, But render unto Caesar's what's Caesar's, man. Okay. So a lot of Jake, are really are really seeing the uh effects of that, man. They're seeing the effects of prophecy, but really can't put their they really can't put their finger on it. Like, man, why is this happening and so forth? Because it has to do with prophecy, man. It has to do it has to do with prophecy, man. Okay? Ain't no there's no gray area when it comes to prophecy. It's only a gray area because we're in Babylon. You know, and a lot of y'all have believed what these false prophets, and some of the false prophets, unfortunately, come from where? Israel. You so-called Negroes, you so-called Latinos, you so-called Native Americans, you other sects who are chopping up the doctrine, you know, for your own benefit, not letting your people know, bro, we in these times, bro. Cause why, bro? Y'all always negate Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, man. This isn't our rest, man, and Jake don't know what the hell is going on, man. Okay. As a matter of fact, if y'all could bear with me, Baba Shah, because I just made mention of Yahweh Shah speaking, you know, speaking about the tribute, right, into Caesar, right? And this is Yahweh Shah, started verse 19. It says, show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, whose is this image and subscriptions? Verse 21. They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto the Most High the things that are the Most High's. See, it's all about prophecy, man. And guess what? It's I did a lesson a few days ago, a week or so ago. The squeeze is going to continue. It's continued. Okay? The squeeze is going to intensify, man. Okay, the Lord ain't supposed to cater nothing to none of you people who don't believe, man. He's only going to look out for his men who, you know, who's truly, you know, who's truly rocking with him, man. You know. Let me reread verse 7 again, and I'll continue reading. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And I read that because I seen, you know, when you scroll, go through news, because, you know, it's tax time, so you see a lot of pop-ups. And then plus, you know, I just, you know, did my, you know, income tax. And, you know, that, you know, even your tax prepper, you know, they'll let you know, well, you know, things are particularly different this year due to credits and this and so forth, you know, which is fine. Call law, Yabashim Yashah. Whether I was getting something back or not, we understand, man, through prophecy. Okay. Does prophecy doesn't suck, you know, but the render unto Caesar, like, yeah, because it's like, man, it's like, bro, because we're supposed to get daily bread, but they tax and everything, but we understand through prophecy that we have to render unto Caesar unto the things that are Caesar's, right? Okay, verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, you're gonna see more bitching and more complaining. Okay, we crying to the Lord for to get us the hell out of here. Y'all crying because you want things to go back to the early 2000s, late 90s, early 90s. We get it. We get it. Them times where the nostalgia of it was, you know, kind of dope, right? Your favorite relatives are living. Your mom and dad was probably together. You didn't have no so-called worries in the world. It was, you know, you just had things, you know, everything was kind of plush for you at that time, right? But that's not the case, man. It's, you know, prophecy must be fulfilled, man. I'd rather prophecy than really just another day in this hellhole, man. Okay, and that's coming from someone who's, you know, been having a stable job for many years, like a lot of brothers have. You know, fortunate to have a, you know, pretty decent vehicle, have a roof over my head. Stuff I like to, engage in or indulge. You know, not, you know, just not my whole personality, but, you know, like, you know, the Lord allows me to have a few shekels to do a few things here, because we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yashah, bro, if the men of GMS and brothers alike who teaching 100% truth, y'all know if we had our choice, this would be over. But see, prophecy has to play out, okay, and the enemy has to be taken down, okay. That's another thing, okay. You niggas are willing to let Esau just flee scot-free without any consequence, okay. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Hey, which that's very obvious, for the interaction that we have, for the videos that's been collected on us and so forth. We preach so called preach hate, but guess what? Hate is in the Bible, man. Okay, yeah. Some of the preachers gonna come with hate, and why? Because it's a strong dislike. Okay, hate is not, you're not, now granted, we ain't, supposed to hate our brother, but you're supposed to have a strong dislike, and that's all that word means. Now, if you're just out here just, just being a negative Nancy and just being a demon and just everywhere you go, hey, those people aren't being crucified. We are. For who? I'll reread that verse again. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Okay? Ain't that a bitch? You know what I'm saying? It's still, it's still, it's still an eye for an eye. You have a strong dislike towards me, I'm gonna have a strong dislike towards you. We don't need to cross paths. Okay? Because we get it, the we're getting close, for if anything, because if we were still under the old covenant, bro, this video wouldn't even be possible. Straight up. So we're getting close to that, new covenant. So, that's when a lot of things are gonna take hold, man. Ain't gonna be no ain't gonna be no clashing amongst, Yasharala. Ain't gonna be no more Esau all, with their foot on our neck, man. That's what the hell we're trying to get, through this, man. And what's gonna have to happen is prophecy. Okay? Verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Okay, we're seeing that Jake is being deceived at every level, man. You know, being delusional in every aspect, bro. But we understand what comes with it, man. And for the brothers who don't, you'll soon see. We see what the bishops, we see what the apostles, bishops, and elders before us were talking about. Okay, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, iniquity, what's that? Wickedness. The love of many shall wax cold. Like I say, this is prompted off of just the state and the state of relationships, man. The state of just the simple the simple gesture of opening the door for someone, and then somebody is being a complete demon, not saying thank you. You opening up the door and they damn near bump into you, and because it only makes sense, right, to be somewhat of a decent person. But hey, now people can't even get, a lot of Jake complaining, man, I walk past another Jake and another black person, I don't even get no head nod, and this, like I say, some Jake cool, some not. Guess what? We don't care, man. Because we understand. I'm gonna read that again. And because iniquity shall abound, wickedness, the love of many shall wax cold. Okay? Because once again, the state of relationships, the state of getting to know someone. More and more, more and more women are complaining, like, man, God, men don't even approach. Like, love, that's the least of y'all worries. It's only because this world is clearly going one direction, and that's what, like the old saying goes, going to hell in a handbasket. Which that hell we know to be what? Thermonuclear destruction. So yes, this place is going to hell in a handbasket, but it's going to be destroyed by Yahweh Bashim Shah, man. Okay, if that makes sense, and then hopefully you get it. If not, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. You know, people think things are gonna, man, after 2020 things were never the same. So you can really just get that out your mind, bro. This is Yahushua HaMashiach speaking. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 24. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your constellation. Right? People who brag on, this and that, which accomplishments are great. But you've made that your whole personality, stunting on one another, stunting on your own people, and so forth. But hey, a lot of those people, reap what they sowed, man. A lot of people now are eating those words, man. You got people who put time in, getting degrees and so forth. Jay can't even get a damn hotel room. You know what I'm saying? People can't people are having hell function out here, getting repoed, people's vehicles being taken, it's hey man, we in those times, man. Time of prophecy, bro, will always remain undefeated. I'll put it to you like that. Okay, verse 25. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Okay. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Okay. Laugh now, cry later. That's where that comes from. Okay. So a lot of, so a lot of a lot of people are now seeing prophecy play out, and they've been caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot more people living out of vans. That's the new trend. Like you get it if you can't get nothing else, but people are trying to normalize a lot of stuff that the Lord ain't even intend for it to be, man. You got people, shitting on marriage and so forth. And it's really just a westernized marriage, to be honest with you. This modern marriage and how things are going. Really. You know what I'm saying? People have an issue how the Lord intended things to be and everything ain't working out in your favor because, hey, we went off. Our people are being our people are being harshly judged because what? We, didn't adhere to Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Now you see what it is, man. This is verse 26. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. Okay? So everybody who's giving, this fake love and so forth, hey, now people are starting to see people's true colors, man. You're starting to see people's true colors. These false prophets, these gurus, these influencers, these, dating coaches, all this, bro. All this stuff, bro, is coming to a screeching halt. And people don't know how to deal with it. People cutting on the camera and crying, bro. We are in these times, But that's all I had on this. And Abaratazah, this has been edifying. So with that, once again, I hope this has been edifying for the body, man. Just seek Yahweh Shem Yahshua, truly seeking. We're coming to them times that ain't no room for any excuses because prophecy is right, before us, man. So with that, once again, call halal Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shah. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshua Waharakat Brakathum. Once again, in double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akiam, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aqua that listening. Shalom.